Hello students, welcome to English Classroom. I am Dr. Suchitra Singh, Assistant Professor of English, VGDC, Vidyanagar. Today we'll deal with articles prescribed for SEM 2 by Osmania University for BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. So let's start our class by looking at this picture, right? Who is this? If we ask, then the answer will be she is a girl, right? She is girl, we don't say, we say she is a girl. So here we have used an article a. What is that? That is an umbrella, right? So here I've used an article an, right? Now let us look at this picture. From where does the sun rise? The sun rises in the east. So we have used here an article the, right? Who has won the cup? This is the boy who won the cup. So here I've used the article the. So in these examples, we see that in some places I've used a, in some places I've used an, and in some places I've used the. So we will learn today where to use our articles a, an, and the. So our objective is to define what an article is, to identify definite and indefinite articles, to help students choose the proper type of article for a given noun, and help students learn the proper usage of indefinite and definite articles and their omissions, right? That is to let know where to use their article a, where to use their article an, where to use their article the, and where not to use their articles. So let us now start off with defining what an article is. If we have to look at it, English has two articles, the and a and an together. Now, the is used to refer to a specific or particular noun, whereas a and an is used to modify non-specific or non-particular nouns, right? So what is that? We know that English has two articles, that is the and a and an. The is used to refer to specific or particular nouns, and a and an is used to modify non-specific or non-particular nouns. We call the a definite article and a and an the indefinite article, right? So now let us start with indefinite articles. We know that a or an is a and an is called as the indefinite article, right? Now we also know that a and an, right? We also know that a and an is used before countable singular nouns. Remember, this point has to be remembered, that the indefinite article a and an is used before countable singular nouns. First condition. Second condition is that a is used before words beginning with a consonant sound, right? What is it? It is used before words beginning with a consonant sound. For example, let us look at this box. Box is a noun. Box is singular. Box is countable. We can have one box, two box, three box, four box. So, and then it is having a consonant sound. So we have used a box, a house, a horse, right? So what we understand that a is used before words beginning with consonant sounds, which are singular and countable nouns. An is used before words beginning with a vowel sound, right? And they also should be singular and countable. For example, an apple. Apple is singular. Apple is countable. We can have 1, 2, 3, 4 apples, right? And then apple means it is giving us the vowel sound, right? So an apple, an elephant, an Indian, etc. Right? So now with this, next thing is that some words, now though we have given the rules, there are always exceptions to the rules. Some words start with a vowel letter but have a consonant sound. So the indefinite article a is used before them. Now, earlier what I said, that if they, now remember this definition should be very clearly understood, that an is used before words that begin with vowels and give vowel sound. Giving vowel sound is very, very important, right? Say a university, a universal rule, a European, right? Similarly, there are words which begin with a silent letter H, and they present initially in some words is not, the H is not pronounced. So in such cases, an is used. Otherwise, H is a consonant and we have to use our vowel A. But look at this, an honest man, sound, an honorable teacher, sound it is giving. It's not giving the H sound. And here also, university is giving U sound, universal, European. So they're not giving the vowel sound. Vowel sound is A, E, I, O, A. So these sounds we should get, right? Next, look at this. Now, what we did over here, we saw in the previous example that these words are honest, honorable, though they are beginning with H, they're giving us the vowel sound. So to understand more better, see here, humble, her sound is coming. Humorous, who, right? Historian, he sound. So here it is not giving a vowel sound, it is giving a consonant sound. So we write a humble man, right? A humorous poem, a historian. So these words begin with H and the sound H is pronounced. Similarly, note that an is used before abbreviations which begin with letters A, W, F, H, I, L, M, N, O, R, S, etc. Say an ISI. When we are I, it's giving I sound, right? And LLB, A. Before we say LL, it starts with the vowel sound, LLB. And RMP, R sound we're getting, right? So these letters, which abbreviations which begin with letters, will take the vowel sound. But if the abbreviation is a word, like say SARC, then it is giving a consonant sound. So we will write a SARC country, a NATO member, right? So remember that if your abbreviations are beginning with letters, right? Then if the letters are giving us the vowel sound, we will write an, and then if the abbreviation is a word and if it is giving a consonant sound, we will write a, right? Is it clear? These are some exceptions that we should keep in mind. Next, a and an, where should we use them? We know the general rule. The general rule is that it should be used before nouns that are singular, that are countable. And if it is a vowel sound, we will use an. If it is a consonant sound, we will use a. Now, generally, where we should use? A and an is used before singular countable nouns, right? Where it means one in some cases. For example, he stayed in England for a month. That is one. Give me 100 rupee note, please. 100 rupee note, right? Can I ask a question? One question, right? And then we also use a and an when we speak in general sense. For example, I'll say I bought a book, right? Generally, I say I bought a book, right? Which book? I'm not saying, right? He came with an umbrella. Which umbrella? I'm not saying, right? So when we are talking about book or when we are talking about umbrella in general sense, then we will use our article a and an. Clear? So we will use before singular countable nouns, which may mean one, or we will also use when we are using it in general terms. Next, a and an is sometimes means anyone. Sometimes means, right? A and an sometimes means any one of a particular type of thing, right? For example, is there a good hotel nearby? Any good hotel, right? Or I'm looking for a bungalow, any bungalow, right? So in that sense also we use our article a or an. Now, a or an is also used with an uncountable noun. Now, remember, a and an cannot be used with uncountable nouns, right? This we should keep in mind. If there are uncountable nouns, then we use another word like some. Say, I need some water. Water is not countable, right? We are looking for some space to park our car. Space is not countable. So in such cases, we use the word some, right? Is that clear? Now, next. A and an is used to refer to what a person's occupation is, was, or will be. When we are talking about a person's occupation, then also we use our article a and an. For example, Sam was an accountant during 2010-2018, right? Or presently Sam is a software or he is a software professional now. Or Rima has been a lecturer in a university. So with these examples, we understand that we use a and an to refer to what a person's occupation is, was, and will be. Right? Now, a and an is sometimes used to refer to a type, class, species, to a type of this thing or class or species. For example, a cow is a domestic animal, means all cows, right? A triangle has three sides, means all triangles, right? Note that we do not need any article with uncountable noun to refer to a type, class, or species, right? Say water. Water is precious. We don't need. Gold is expensive. All gold, but they are uncountable nouns. So here, cow is countable, which is representing a class. So we use a. Triangle is countable, which represents a type. Then we call it as a. We use our article a or an depending on the sound, right? Next. A and an can be used with singular countable nouns when the person or thing the noun referred to is introduced or mentioned for the first time in the conversation. So, whenever we are introducing a person or a thing for the first time, even then we use our article a and an. For example, we have a Russian student in our class. He does not speak much English. See, first time I have used the article, but second time we don't use, right? Yesterday I bought a CD player. It is not working properly. Only when we have introduced it for the first time, we have used the article, but second time we don't use. So with these examples, we understand that a and an can be used with a singular countable noun when the person or thing the noun referred to is introduced or mentioned for the first time in the conversation, right? Now, next. A and an can be used while defining something, right? For example, a linguist is one who analyzes languages. Now here I am defining who a linguist is, right? An altimeter is an instrument to measure height, right? An altimeter is an instrument to measure height, or if I'm saying an owl is a nocturnal animal. So these examples tell us that a and an can be used while defining something, right? Example, a linguist is one who all analyzes languages, right? Now, next, a and an is used when someone or something is described or to say what type of a person someone is or what type of a thing something is. When you are trying to describe what type of a person someone is or what type of a thing something is. For example, I am talking about Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi is a great actor. What type of an actor? He is a great actor. Latin is a classical language. What type of language? Classical language. Bangalore is a beautiful city. So these examples tell us that a and an is used when someone or something is described or to say what type of a person someone is or what type of a thing something is, right? Next, a and an is used to make a common noun of a proper noun, right? When you change a proper noun into a common noun, we use a and an. For example, look at this sentence. A Daniel came to judgment. A Daniel came to judgment. That means someone who judges a Daniel is person as great as Daniel. Who can judge like Daniel, we call them Daniel. Say, I'll say that Raj is Virat Kohli Virat Kohli has come to one of my students because he bats like Virat Kohli, right? So there the proper noun becomes a common noun, right? So only a Wordsworth can write such a poem. That means here a person with the ability of Wordsworth. So when we change our proper noun into common noun, then we use our article a or an, right? Next, a and an is used to indicate price and speed. For example, he drove the bus at 50 kilometers an hour, right? Or he bought the apple at 30 rupees a dozen. So these examples tell us that a and an is used to indicate price and speed, right? Then next is that a and an is used in exclamations, sentences with exclamations, right? We use a and an in front of nouns or adjectives and or a noun in exclamation, right? Like with noun with exclamation with what? Like for example, what a pity, what a beautiful day, what an ugly bug, what a happy ending, what a cute puppy. So these examples tell us that we use a and an in front of noun or adjective plus noun in exclamations with what, right? So here we have used it as what a pity, what a beautiful girl, what an ugly bug, what a happy ending, right? So in these cases also we use our articles. Then a and is used in certain similes and metaphors, right? For example, let us understand by looking at this example. She walks like a queen. Simple, right? He is a heaven for lunatics, as blind as a bat, right? This is a metaphor. He is as cool as a cucumber. My heart is like an open highway. So these examples tell us that a and an is used in certain similes and metaphors, right? Now, a and an are used after some prepositions too, especially prepositions like as, for, and on. For example, it is only for a change, right? They don't do it as a rule or on a rainy day. So with this, what we understand is that a and an are used after some prepositions, especially as, for, and on, right? So now, so these are the places where we use our indefinite article a and an. So let us just once again brush up that indefinite article a and an are used before nouns that begin with vowel and that used before nouns that are singular and countable, right? And a is used before words that begin with consonant sound and which are singular and countable, an is used before words that are nouns that are singular and countable, but which have a vowel sound, right? And where is the usage? That is, we use a and an before singular countable noun when we mean it as one, right? And we also use it when anyone, right? Like, for example, is there a good hotel nearby? Or we use them with we use them when we refer to a type, class, or species, right? Then a and an is also used with singular countable nouns when the person or thing is introduced for the first time in the conversation, right? And we also use them while defining something, right? And then we use them when someone or something is described, or to say what type of a person someone is or what type of a thing is. For example, Chiranjeevi is a great actor. So when I want to say what type of a person, then I use my article. Or sometimes when we change our common noun into proper noun, we use our article a and an. And a and an is also used to indicate price, speed, etc. Right? And they are used before exclamations or sentences that begin with what, right? And we also use them before certain similes and metaphors. And sometimes we use them before certain prepositions. Now we'll come to learn where to use our definite article the. Now we know that definite article the is used when we are trying to talk about specific things, right? For example, if I say this is a pencil, right? When I say this is a pencil, I mean it in general sense. Anything that looks like this is a pencil. But when I say this is the pencil with which I drew a picture, then I'm talking about a specific pencil. So with this example, we know that we use the article the when we are talking about specific nouns, right? So the definite article is used. Now, the difference between indefinite and definite is that the definite article is used with singular as well as plural nouns, and it is used both before countable and uncountable nouns, whereas indefinite articles are only used before singular nouns and countable nouns, right? So this is how we try to do our things. Now, example, information is a precious commodity in our computer. Now, when I said that the is used before uncountable nouns also. Like, for example, here, information is a precious commodity in our computerized world. Now, information is not countable. But when I use this in this sense, the information in your files is correct. Here, I'm specifying. Say, sugar has become more expensive recently. It is uncountable. Then please pass me the sugar. I'm talking about particular thing. So there I have specified. So with this we understand that definite article can be used before singular, can be used before plural, countable and non-countable. Right? Next, to make definite or to make definite or specific reference to a person or a thing. Now we use it to make definite or specific reference to a person or a thing that has already been referred to. For example, there is the man I was telling you about. Already I have referred, and now I am trying to be specific. So then I use, right? The is used with noun whose identity is clear to the listener from the context, right? For example, what is the time? The time now, right? Our laboratory is on the first floor. That means I'm very clear, the first floor of college building when I'm talking about, right? Or when I say the weather is nice, right? Now here I'm talking about the weather now or today, right? So this is how we are going to use our definite article the. Now, the definite article the is also used before nouns which is unique or one of its kind, right? When certain things are unique and one of its kind, we use the definite article the. For example, the sun, the moon, the North Pole, the Pacific, the Antarctica, right? The pyramids, the Ganga, the Titanic. So these are all one of its kind. So we are very specific about it. So in such cases, we use our article the, right? So next is that the definite article the is also used with adjectives to represent a class of people. When we are trying to represent a class of people, that is the rich, or we are trying to talk about injured people, or we are trying to talk about dead people, then also we use our article the. So to understand this, let us look at these examples. The rich are always rich and the poor always poor, right? Helen Keller was always interested in the blind, right? The injured were immediately taken to the hospital. So these examples tell us that the definite article the is also used with adjectives to represent a class of people, right? So when we represent a class of people, then we use our definite article the, right? Next is the definite article the is used with a noun whose identity is a part of our knowledge, right? When the identity is a part of our knowledge, then also we use our article the. For example, the chief minister has promised to provide free primary education to every girl child in the state. Now, when I mention this now, I am meaning our present chief minister, that is KCR, right? So it is known, right? Then if I say the government implemented a scheme to help the poor farmers. Now here I am talking about the present government of the state or nation. So these examples tell us that the definite article the is used with a noun whose identity is a part of our knowledge, right? Now next is that the definite article is used before the names of some countries. Now, earlier we have already said that we should not use we don't use articles before proper nouns, right? But if the proper noun is descriptive, right, then we use the article the. For example, the United States of America. Here, United States of America is descriptive, right? But when I just use the word America, I am not going to use my article the. The United Kingdom, the Netherlands, the Republic of Germany, even Punjab. Punjab means a state of 5 rivers. So I'll say the Punjab. So these examples tell us that the definite article is used before the name of some countries that are descriptive in nature, right? The definite article the is used before the names of rivers, seas, oceans, right? All these places we have to use the. For example, the Mississippi, the Ganga, the Godavari, the Thames, the Indus, the Amazon, the Sutlej, the Nile. So remember, whenever we are talking about rivers, mountains, right, the Mount Everest, right, the Himalayas. So whenever we are talking about specific mountains or specific about rivers, seas, and oceans, we use our definite article the, right? Then the so then the definite article the is also used before the names of holy books. When we are referring to holy books also, we have to use our definite article the. That is, we say the Bible, the Ramayana, the Quran, the Mahabharata, right? So in this way, we have to use our definite articles whenever we are mentioning holy books. Next is that the definite article the is used before the names of inventions. Where do we use it? We use it before the names of inventions. Who invented the microscope? Microscope is an invention, right? So the telescope enables us to see the distant stars. The electric bulb was invented by Edison. So these examples tell us that we use the definite article the before the names of inventions, right? Now, uh, the definite article the is also used before superlative adjectives, right? Say the largest, the most difficult, etc. Right? Now let us look at this example. Vijay is the oldest boy in the class. Seema is the most intelligent girl in the class. Raj is the cleverest boy in the class. So we are using our definite article the before superlative adjectives, right? So this is where we use our articles. Now, the is used before a proper noun to make it a common noun. As sometimes we use a, sometimes we use the. For example, when I say Kalidasa is the Shakespeare of India, anyone who write like Shakespeare can be called Shakespeare. So here Shakespeare is become a common noun. Mumbai is the Manchester of India, right? Raj is the Virat Kohli of our college. So this way we can use our, when our proper nouns function as a common noun, we can either use a, an, or the, depending on the context of the sentence, right? So we also know that the definite article the is used with an adverb with comparative. When we are comparing, we use it with a adverb. For example, the higher you go, the colder it becomes. The more, the merrier, right? So in such cases also we use our definite article the. So these are some of the places where we use our definite article the. So let us now once again brush up where we will use our article the, right? The definite article the is used with both singular as well as plural nouns. It is used both with countable nouns and uncountable nouns, right? This is the difference. Whereas our indefinite articles are used only before singular and countable nouns, right? Now, to make a definite article specific reference to a person or thing that has already been referred, we use our definite article the, right? And we also use the with noun whose identity is clear to the listener. For example, what is the time? Clearly the identity, the listener knows I'm asking what is the time now, right? So then they will know about it. Or we also use the definite article the when we are referring to unique or celestial bodies like the sun, the moon, the north pole, the Pacific, right? So there also we use our definite article the. Then the definite article the is also used with adjectives to represent a class of people, the rich or the poor, right? So there also we can use. Then the definite article the is used with noun whose identity is a part of our knowledge, right? For example, when I say the chief minister has promised to provide free primary education to every girl in the state, here I know very well who the chief minister is, right? Then we also use definite article before the names of countries which are descriptive in nature, right? For example, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, the Republic of Germany, etc., right? We use the before the names of rivers and channels, right? And we also use the before the names of holy books. We use the before inventions, right? And we also use the when we are talking about superlative adjectives, right? Then the is used before a proper noun when it functions as a common noun, right? And sometimes we use it with comparative adverbs. Now where we have to omit the usage of article. No article is used before a plural or uncountable noun to talk about things or something in general. When we are talking in general, we don't use articles, but we know that we use the definite article when even before plurals and uncountable, right? Now, so remember that we have learned where to use our article a, an, and the. Now we will see where not to use our articles, right? Remember, no article is used before a plural or uncountable noun to talk about things or people in general. That is, when we are talking about something in general, we are not going to use our article unless we are talking about it in specific. Say rabbits are harmless animals. We are talking in general about all rabbits, right? Water is precious, right? Good news is always welcome. Man is mortal. So these examples tell us that no article is used before a plural or uncountable noun to talk about things or people in general, right? That is when we are talking about plural or uncountable nouns in general, we should not use our article, right? Secondly, no article is used with the names of people. That is, before proper noun, we will not use our article. That is, for example, Rama Rao is giving a lecture on world languages today. Or Hema Malini is a famous dancer. Now, these are the names of proper noun. However, we can use article before the names of people when there are two people with the same name and we want to distinguish one person from the other. This is the Hema Malini who danced in our auditorium. Supposing if there are two people with the same name and you want to distinguish, then we can use our definite article, the which person we are referring to, right? Then we use articles when we change a proper name into a common name, right? Right? Supposing he is the Amitabh Bachchan of Tollywood, meaning a great actor like Amitabh Bachchan. He is like. So we are comparing him. So here Amitabh Bachchan becomes a common noun. So we use the article the. She thinks she is a Lata Mangeshkar, meaning a good singer like Lata Mangeshkar. Got it? So when we change the proper noun into common noun, we will use our articles, right? Next, we use article when we refer to somebody whom we do not know. Supposing I'm on the phone and somebody calls up and I take and I want to tell my colleague, someone has asked for my colleague. So I'll say, he has mentioned his name, but I don't know that particular person. So there is a Mr. Ramarao on the line, sir, right? So if I want to say that there is a Mr. Ramarao that whom I don't know. So in such cases, we use our article. No article is used before any kind of sports or games. I like cricket, not the cricket, right? I love football. So no article is used before the names of games, right? Then, no article is used before nouns such as school, college, hospital, prison, when we refer to them as a primary purpose. I go to school, if it is a student, right? Or I go to college, that's my primary job. A doctor goes to the hospital, that's their primary job. So they will not use any article over there, right? For example, say most children don't like going to school. That is where they go to study. He was sent to prison. That is where generally we send as a punishment, right? However, we use the definite article the before these nouns when they refer to these institutions for a specific purpose. I don't go to school every day, but supposing I say I go to school to meet the teacher. I go to the school, right? I went to the school yesterday to pick up my children, right? This is not my daily place, right? He visited the hospital only when you are sick, right? So for a general checkup. So when you go there for secondary purpose, then you have to use your article the. When you're going it for a primary purpose, you must omit your article, right? Then we do not use articles when used with a proper noun. Now you know that we don't use an article when we are using it with a proper noun, right? That is when we mean to say like, one second. We don't use articles before titles. sorry, not proper nouns, before titles when used with a proper noun. For example, President Kalam is a great scientist and educationist. So this, before these titles, we will know. Professor Rao is a good friend of mine, right? Next, no article is used before names of diseases like flu, influenza, mumps, fever, diabetes, right? We don't use. The child is suffering from fever. Mr. Kumar has diabetes. But we use article when we are talking about, say, it is always, we say the plague, right? When it refers to the disease, right? Names we don't use, but when we are referring to the disease itself, we use the article the. Next, article is not used before the names of languages and colors, right? Before the English we won't say, right? He does not know French, right? English is an international language. Blue is his favorite color. We don't use the over here. Then next is articles are not used before material nouns and abstract nouns in general sense. For example, cotton is light, patience is a great virtue. These examples say that we do not use before material nouns and abstract nouns when we are using them in general sense, right? So this is where you should not use your articles. Where you should not use, when we refer to somebody whom, say, let us just brush up, we should not use articles before plural or uncountable noun to talk about things or people in general. No article is used with the names of people, right? However, if there are two people of the same name, then to specify one, we use an article. Then we use article when we use a name as a common noun. But for proper noun, we don't use them, right? We use article when we refer to somebody whom we do not know. Otherwise, no article is used before any kind of sport or games, right? Then no article is used before nouns where we go for primary functions, right? But for secondary functions, we use them. And we don't use articles before titles when used with a proper noun, right? And no article is used before names of diseases. But when we talk about the disease, then we use our article. Then article is not used before the names of languages and colors, right? And articles are not used before material nouns and abstract nouns when we use them in general sense. So this is all about our articles. Let us just try to do a small exercise and we'll see how we have, whether we have understood. She doesn't own dash car. A car. He came from dash humble background, right? There is no need of article over here. I saw bears at the zoo. Now bears are plural, so we don't use a article over here. He asked for milk, no article, right? She didn't get an invitation, right? I saw an eagle fly by, right? She was an English teacher. She taught at a European university, right? So this is how we have to use our articles. For example, he bought milk, butter, and a loaf of bread, right? The table is made of wood, right? Dr. Abdul Kalam was an honest man. Now, there are some sentences over here. Just try to see if any article should be inserted. There is book here. What we should say, there is a book in my backpack, right? Then the book is heavy. Specific book we are talking about, right? Do you know where I left the car keys? Because I'm talking specifically about car keys. I enjoy reading detective novels, especially ones by the famous author Conan Doyle, right? Then next is French drink. The French drink wine while Americans drink beer. right? Then a group of MBA students from University of Mumbai visited the Harvard University in United States. Is it clear? So this is how we have to use our articles a and an. I hope you have understood this. Try to do the remaining exercises and stay home, stay safe, and avoid going out. If at all you have to go out, wear your mask. Thank you so much.